Whatever the occasion, effortless elegance is right this way. Because Hilton brings you new ways to stay courtesy of the Nomad London. And it doesn't stop at award-winning dining in a space draped in velvet and illuminated by vintage chandeliers. No, this day goes beyond with unparalleled personalized service and attentive hospitality. Oh, and did we mention the Nomad London can be booked using your Hilton Honors points at Hilton.com? Hilton, for the stay.
What up, my people? How is everybody doing tonight? What's up, Tiger Borg? Make sure once you guys hop into live, you start tapping that like screen. Get my live out there. Bad Fish, what's up? Smile at Stubby. Fish God, what's up? How is everybody doing tonight? Make sure y'all are tapping that like screen. And go ahead and rep your city, fam. Rep your city. I always like to start my lives off with the repping your city. And make sure you're hitting that like screen. Any gifters I will follow after the live. Denver, Colorado, Star, Idaho, Britain, San Antonio, Texas, El Paso, Texas, Kansas City, Bandon, Oregon, Inglewood, what up, Long Beach, Monroe, Georgia. Hey, Maud. What are you doing? Great Ann Arbor. Go Blue. Yes. Michigan's having a good year this year. Duendes. Minnesota. Hello from Hoona, Alaska. Ogden, Utah. Flagstaff. Arizona. Nice. Los Angeles, LA. The 12 Monkeys. Interesting. Where's that at? Make sure you guys are hitting that like screen. Get my live out there. Evanston, Wyoming. Thank you, Duke Dog. I appreciate you. Appreciate you on the gifts. Any gifters I follow. What up, Arkansas? Duendes. Duendes are little people. Duendes are little people. Thank you for hitting that like, who's ever doing that. Thank you very much. Daytona, Florida. Love you, buddy. Thank you so much, Slip Fan. You are Duende from California, huh? Interesting. South Carolina. Thank you, Boomer Cat. As I said, all gifters I will follow after the live. Richmond, Virginia. Area 52. You know, I've been asked to do that for a long time. And one of these days I should. Checking in Utah. Jackie Braze, how you doing, girl? Good to see you here. Los Angeles. I appreciate that, dude. You have great content. Thank you very much. Hey, thanks for the gifts, guys. That's what's up. MWCM, J Lego. It means a lot. Gets my live out there, man. Yes, Mexico has great lore on the little people. Wyoming. New England or any Pennsylvania. Area 52 is supposedly like an Area 51. Thank you, Shally Jade. Yeah, I haven't watched American Horror Story this year. Hawaii. Enjoying the content. Heck yes. I appreciate that. Where is it located? What do you mean? Yeah, it's basically the new Area 51. Nice. Bigfoot encounter. That's awesome. Salutations from Arlington, Texas. Awesome. Hey, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Love from Cali. Man, I'll tell you what, though. The trolls, boy. I got a lot of them on that last video. Yeah, Area 51 is just the patsy, if you will. The cover-up. The metaverse. Dogman. Yep, Dogman's in Michigan as well. Oh, Ohio's got great lore. Look up Helltown, USA. Look up Helltown, Boston, Ohio. Very interesting lore. You know what's funny, Shally? You say that because I was listening to a thunderstorm the other night. Like nothing I ever heard. It sounded like bombs going off. Ooh, at Lake McClure in Canada. Or Cali? Lake McClure in Canada. Freshwater octopus. I've never heard that. Octopus. Interesting. Dude said a freshwater octopus is known to make people go missing in Lake McClure. Tons of fun, thank you. Crystal Lake, that's Jason's lake, right? I don't know. I know Appalachia has really good ones. That's where you're from. Nothing crazy recent for the Michigan Dogman. Not far from Mothman. I've been there. Have you heard anything on huge freshwater? That's interesting, the freshwater octopus. You definitely got me intrigued on that. Appreciate you, Wireheads. Fucking. I've seen the Northwest tree octopus, but yeah, I have been sleeping better. I have. It's still not the best, but Lake McClure in California. Thank you. I figured you said CA Cali. I should have known better. Lake McClure. MCCLURE. Interesting. Oh, yes. Duendes are very real. Recently, though, have you heard that smile at Stubby? I've heard that Dogman was spotted in Belleville, Michigan. Is that recent? Dogman spotted Belleville. Interesting. Good, good. Good to see you, Jarrett. Nicholas89. What's good, bro? Yeah, make sure y'all are hitting that like screen, too. Any donators I follow. And a lot of duendes in the Philippines. What you talk about? If you want to know a lot more about what you talk about, research Life Force. Life Force. Okay. 2 weeks, maybe more. Really? Yes, I think you did, Miss Loria. No, Dogman, dude, everything, my wife Chelsea is sexy. Everything gets debunked. You got to remember that. Everything gets debunked. What? Thank you. In the storm clouds. Good stories. You found a pic Veracity. Okay. Yeah, you like that? That was good stuff, huh? That was good stuff. A lot of hoaxes, agreed. Lots of hoaxes, but they call everything a hoax. That's the first thing they do to discredit something. What up, New Mexico? Don and Docs. I've been actually talking to somebody on Telegram who's been sending me locations of all the DUMBs, deep underground military bases all over the world. And dude, it runs deep. There's a lot of them. A lot of them. Yeah, I pretty much have maps of locations of every one of them. Yup, the Denver airport's a big one. From Life Force. From Life Force where, bro? Life Force what? The long-legged fox creep walking like a skinwalker. Well, the other day I was watching this lady who was from Appalachia, or the Appalachian Mountains. And what was she calling them? The Fae folk? The Fae folk? She was telling stories about her experiences growing up in Appalachia, and they were very interesting. She talked about how her and a girlfriend actually went. So her girlfriend lived across from this house in town, but it was all dilapidated and ran down. They had watched rain just pour right into the middle of the living room at the house. They had a big hole in their roof. They literally watched as rain would pour in every time it stormed. But one day they decided to go and check it out, kind of walk through the abandoned house, right? So they make their way to the door, but when they open it, it's not ran down. It's basically as if it was still being lived in back in the 50s, but it had a little layer of dust all over everything in the house. But literally you could find magazines, newspapers, articles, you name it, inside the house that were from the era. And they said that as they went through, they looked at everything. They just had to check everything out. Well, suddenly they hear her friend's mom calling their names. So when they left, they get back there and she said, "Where the hell have you guys been?" And she said, "What? We've only been gone for 20 minutes. Well, the mom said that they had been gone for like 5 or 6 hours. So the time differential was different, but she called it the result of the fairies or the fae people. She said that they had something to do with that. Yes, the duendes are very, very interesting. The lore runs deep. I don't know if you guys or any of my regulars here, I'm sure you guys are, but do you guys remember when I was talking about how my uncle was staying at my grandmother's house? That was pretty old. My grandmother's house is pretty old. My uncle was staying in that house, but he'd hear things at night. He'd hear things. And he always said as he was staying there, he said he could swear that he was hearing music coming from the walls. Coming from behind the basement walls. He said he could swear that he would hear like classical phonograph type music. And it's said that the duendes, if they live in your house or among you, they're not necessarily malevolent beings. They will be, or they can be, if, for example, you kill one of their people or one of their members of their tribe. They will make your life a living hell, and may even take it at the end of the day. They may even kill you. But it's said that, yeah, if you take out any of their members, other than that, though, there are bad factions of duendes, okay? But there's also good as well. Yeah, they seem to be a southern state dweller. Like warm climates more, but I do believe that they reside all over the United States. Possibly in many old houses. I imagine old trailers and stuff with crawl spaces for heat. But the other day my story was 3 or 4 hours. No. They exist. They're actually a humanoid. They're basically little fairies. I mean, certain tribes only have a few fairies. They could be down the line, yes. They could be related to the Fae, yes. How could they be part of the Nephilims? They're tiny. Sorry, it's just a fortune cookie. I can't help it. So, I'm going to start it out. The first type of duendes, okay? There's 3 types in the lore. And this comes from my boy again and his grandfather. And it's definitely interesting. Nevertheless, it's always interesting. He actually just emailed me right after I started my live, so I probably missed out on a little bit of content there. But interesting stuff. I'm finally monetized on YouTube, guys. So any lives that you may have missed, or any content that you want to see, go on YouTube and subscribe. At Night God 333, I post all my lives after I do them, download them, I post them on YouTube. So any lives you guys might have missed, or any lives that you're in, you might see that you think are sound intriguing, check them out. Most of my lives are at least an hour minimum. And it's always got good stuff. Maurice, what up? Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. I put in a lot of time and hard work. Fortune cookies are all right. They're like bland, but... Oh, yes. Nephilim bones have been found all over the world. It's being... Smithsonian's kind of covering it up. Thank you, MW. Yeah, they're gnomes, sure. Dude, I would love to if I had the money. J Dreams, huh? Interesting. J Dreamers, interesting. Yes, they do have gifts. I believe they vibe at a little higher frequency. BP. They thought my grandfather was BP. What's that mean? Not bipolar. No, man. I haven't read the whole book of Enoch, no. Yes, I have. I've talked a lot about the giants of Kandahar. All right, bro, I'll do that for you, Jarrett Forbes. Oh, the ancient technology. It's almost magical. Almost magical. So, I'm going to start out with the first type. These stories, once again, are always intriguing, you guys. You know, whether you 100% believe them or not is totally up to you. But end of the day, you can't deny the absolute interesting lore. I mean, it's fantastical. It's amazing. And this has been passed down from generations to generation right in Mexico. So you can't beat it. You can't beat it. So, all right, the first type of duendes, right? Make sure you guys are tapping that like screen. Any gifters I follow after the live. So thank you for the gifts and all that. Keeps me going. Gets the live out there too. So the first and largest are the size of an average 7-year-old. Okay? They resembled goblins. They live near swamps and aren't necessarily good or evil. His grandfather said that they would steal livestock, okay? So they would steal local villagers' livestock. But then later, they would come back and leave baskets of rare fruits and vegetables that only they knew how to grow. They also would grow mushrooms from within the forest, bread and cheese that no one else could make. I thought that was very interesting. So basically, you're saying that what he's saying is that, they would once in a while steal if they were starving or needed help. They'd steal your livestock, but then they'd come back later and have a little barter system with you and give back to you in ways that you couldn't get, like their fruits and vegetables, for example, or their mushrooms, their way of living. Very interesting, I thought. And they would almost... So when that lady would talk about the Fae, right? She said once in a while, like say if you had a garden that wasn't growing anything and you had been trying to grow there for years, but then one year, all of a sudden it bloomed more beautiful and more gorgeous than anything you've ever seen. A lot of times they contribute that to the gnomes. But she said, never thank them. If you thank them, you are indebted to them. So you have to say, more or less, wow, what beautiful flowers, I appreciate you, or something along those lines. Because if you thank them, they're going to start thinking it's a barter, and you'll owe them, right? And if you don't pay them back, they'll get angry with you. And they will actually start to mess with you, which you don't want. You don't want that at all, okay? So again, they would steal but pay it back later. This was interesting. There's a story of a woman who would fall in love with one of them, okay? A woman of a village that would fall in love with one of the little people, the duendes. So they were the green ones. Eventually, she would go missing. The whole village would look for her, but she was nowhere to be found. Weeks later, her father would hear a knock at the door. He would go to the door, open it, and see a pile of gold out in front of his house. As if he couldn't have his daughter back, but here's a pile of gold for your sacrifice, right? He never saw her again, but he was the richest man in his village for the rest of his days. That was really intriguing to me. Okay. Mountain of gold at his doorstep. He never saw his daughter again, but it is said that she became the queen of these said duendes, right? They had a huge underground city, and one thing the queen did is she would order these certain duendes to watch over the women of the village, the women of their area that were living in their dwelling, the women and children. She told them to watch over them with extra care and attention. If they were being abused, or if they had a bad, say, experience with father, stepfather, being abusive towards mother or children, they would actually start messing with him, and they would get justice. If he didn't stop, so they would start tormenting the gentlemen that were abusive towards women, and if they didn't stop, they would actually go as far as to take them out. All right? So this queen instilled this extra layer of protection for the women and children of the village. Maybe because she saw a lot of it going on. So she thought she'd put in a little extra. So she basically put this whole tribe of duendes on women and children village watch. And if you didn't abide to it, boy, you were in for a trip. These things are not to be messed with, you guys. Like, I know they're little, but do not underestimate duendes. Don't underestimate little people. Power in numbers, right? Power in numbers. So, I had a cousin who was young. When he was younger, he used to kind of like, I don't know. He used to like getting all a little. He was really young when he'd do it. So one day he was in his garage and he was like getting stoned, you know. He was sitting on his four-wheeler and hanging out when suddenly he got too inebriated or intoxicated, right? And he was just a kid at this time, so he wasn't doing anything like crazy hardcore, but he was just kind of getting like out of his mind a little bit, right? He said all of a sudden he started feeling really wavy, right? And I actually put this together for him later, because when he was a kid, and he said he saw them many times, but he just didn't know how to tell anybody about it, right? He would call them ninjas. He would call them ninjas as a kid because of the way they moved. He said they were really fast. They could, there was a number of them. They could hide and then show themselves really quick. They'd disappear in the shadows. But he would only see them when he was more or less like intoxicated to the point of he wouldn't be able to actually physically harm them, right? And he was just, like I said, a kid at this time, maybe 10 years old, 12. But he would go out to they had an old shed. He'd go sit on the three-wheeler and kind of just, hang out. And he said that's when they'd start to come out, when he started getting a little inebriated, right? He'd start seeing them in both sheds. He had two different sheds. He would see, first it would always be one of them, and they'd start peeking from behind stuff, right? They'd peek from behind like a tire or like a dirt bike or something along those lines, a workbench, tools. They'd start peeking at him. And that's when he knew they were going to come out. And then all of a sudden, they'd start showing themselves to the next level. He said one time he can remember counting up to 15 or 20 of them. Okay? But they would move really fast. And as soon as he'd come to, he'd wake up and they'd just disappear. And he'd told me this story many times, and he would always say ninjas. Well, I thought he was meaning full-grown, full-size ninja like men, right? He said he'd see them jumping around, this and that. And then he told me one day, he said, no. He said, they're little. And I said, what? You never told me that. And I was like, bro, you're seeing little people, right? You're seeing gnomes, dude. Crazy stuff, right? He was seeing little gnomes in his garages and stuff like that. He said that they would surround him a lot of times, and they were harmless. But if he actually made any motion at all towards them, they would all scatter and hide. But what I found interesting is he would see one and they'd toy with him a little bit here and there. But always, he said, there was a number of them in the background. So what does that mean? To me, that means they brought enough numbers to take him out if he were to come to and actually be able to do something or hurt one of them. They have power in numbers. So they would have enough people, if they had to, enough of their clan, take him out if they had to. That's like I say, you don't want to hurt them. You don't want to hurt any of theirs, because if you do, it will haunt you and they will come after you. They're relentless, okay? So after this queen, she ended up becoming the queen of these duendes, right? The green ones, okay? So she put an order in to protect the women and children of the village, okay? So this is what I found very interesting. And they can tell, like, this is also interesting. The duendes can tell if you're inherently evil or good by your aura. Meaning that they can see your vibe, they can see your color, which I thought was really cool. So they're of a higher dimension. They would bully you into stopping the violence by messing with your stuff, cause near-death experiences, to scare men into being kind to men, women, or to women and children. But if they didn't stop, they would be viciously killed or go missing. Said queen would have children who looked human but were green with elven ears. This was very cool to me, I thought. When I was reading this, I found a picture that I thought maybe what one might kind of look like. So she had children with this said duendes, this queen, who was a normal female. She was a normal female of the village. They were green with elven ears. They would say that the old timers would say that they would see them shopping in the village, but most were too afraid to approach them. Shops loved to trade with them, though, because they always had the most unique, priceless items to trade. Fruits, vegetables, you name it, probably a lot of gold. And just like and then one day, just like they came to be, they were gone, and they never saw them again. Literally just disappeared. I'm thinking that it got to the point where they had to retreat to the subterranean pockets. You know what I'm saying? So, probably because people started to get too, I don't know, I don't want to call it like evil against them, but yeah, you know what I mean? People probably started to get too hostile or curious. Yeah, like kind of is exactly kind of like an elven race. It'd remind you of something like on Lord of the Rings. So that was the first type, and like I said, they were a little taller. They were kind of more maybe like 3 to 4 feet tall. That was the first type. Okay, so then the second type of duendes, they're the height of a cat. Usually evil, living in small groups of their own, with their own families in the woods. Of this evil type, there was a group that was benevolent. This type of duendes had the ability to make it rain, create bad weather like snow, hail, thunder, and also create beautiful rainbows. The bad ones would kidnap small children and small livestock. This one actually is pretty intriguing because it sounds a lot like something. So they would steal small children and ancient livestock from the ancient natives. Every time they did this, indigenous would hunt them down. The indigenous people would hunt them down. They had special dogs that knew their scent. They would capture them alive and bring them to the village medicine man, where he would do a prayer for Mother Nature, and the captured duendes would turn. They would either turn into gold or beautiful fruits and vegetables as a thank you for Mother Nature. Okay? So what I think these could be were the evil leprechauns. They were leprechauns, right? Certain of them were evil, while some of them were good. But I just thought it was interesting. The rainbows, the pot of gold, or they would change into a pot of gold if they were evil. The shamans would do a seance, and they would literally turn into stuff of Mother Nature because they were so out of tune with her. That reminded me of the movie Leprechaun, right? I mean, think about it. So the third type live in the forest with big cities like royalty. The soldiers would have wings like fairies. These ones were 6 to 9 inches tall. Okay? But the rest were normal with no wings. They're small. These were small, the smallest ever to exist, at least as far as mankind knew. They would live in dense forest areas, usually surrounded by fruits and beautiful flowers. Some of them would leave the village, choosing to live under human homes. Okay? So the bump in the nights that you hear and stuff like that, once in a while they'd screech really loud. They like to screech really loud, and they like to mess with people. Not necessarily malevolently, but they would take your keys or misplace your wallet, hide your wallet, stuff like that. They get entertainment out of it, supposedly. But They can even live in your walls. This group will often cause mischief for people in the house, make things go missing, or steal small items. These are evil. These aren't evil usually unless you kill one of theirs. This will anger them and they will go crazy and cause dangerous events to take place at the dwelling. Things falling, tripping people maybe down the stairs, stuff like that. So once you get on their bad side, you don't want to stay on their bad side, because it's not good for you, basically. They're very elusive. They're hard to catch. They're highly intelligent. So this is what the weird thing about my grandma Frisbee's house was. Her house is really old, and they had a basement that was built like underground, and then they had a fruit cellar. So the last time I was over there, my dog was barking at something, right? And then as we were getting ready to leave, he usually wouldn't stay. He usually wouldn't hang out and ignore me. And I kept calling his name. And I was like, what the heck? I knew he was in the house. I was sure of it. But I still kind of looked outside, didn't see nothing. And I kept saying, Marley, Marley, and I couldn't hear him trotting through Grandma's house or anything like that. So finally I went back inside and I walked in, and sure enough, I walk into one of the bedrooms, and this dog is just literally staring in one direction at one wall and not moving inside this room. And that's not like him, right? And my Uncle Charlie said he'd hear, one night he was chilling, he was sleeping in the basement. He would sleep in the pitch black. I couldn't even do that if I thought there was something weird like that around. But he would all of a sudden hear a broomstick get knocked over, smash. And it would not just get knocked over, it would almost get thrown over. Whop! And it'd bounce off the floor. The music in the walls for one. But once in a while his dog would go ape shit. And I think a lot of times your dogs and animals see things that you don't. So that's why when I walked back in there and actually saw Marley just kind of staring in one direction, it kind of took me aback. And I thought, what are you seeing that I'm not? You know what I'm saying? What did you see that froze you in that room and it kept you staring in the same direction? And dude, you guys, I'm telling you, I was calling him for probably 5 minutes, and he was just hanging out in this singular room. Like I say, they're very elusive. So if they were in your house or they were living within your walls, you would never know it. Their points of entry would be pretty much unseeable to humans. Their points of entry to your home. My uncle would say that the activity would start as soon as he would go downstairs to lay down. He'd start hearing stuff thudding up and down and up around this, in the upstairs level. Okay? In the cupboards, stuff like that. It was just, I don't know. I never went over there. I wish I would have done a paranormal investigation on it. I really do. I never got a chance to, unfortunately. But a funny feeling, and I just had this funny feeling that it could be the Duendes, man. The little people living there. Especially because of the sound in the walls. They're known for stealing things, right? So if they're intelligent enough, they could steal a phonograph and they could steal a record. You know what I'm saying? So, I just like to look at things subjectively and not objectively. I like to look at them and at least consider them before I just sit back and go, no, it's not true. Everybody has an experience, and it's their experience. It's their truth, right? Whether it's outlandish or not. And people don't seem to get the hint here. One of the best testimonies you can have, especially being a guy like me who shares the content I share, people reach out to me all the time, you guys, and they tell me stories that they would never ever tell even their best friend or their significant other sometimes, right? Because of my content, it opens that door for people to approach me and talk to me about things that normally they don't want to talk about. But it is their truth, right? And should we not at least hear their truth? Because if it's their truth, then most likely there's somebody else who has the same truth, and it could be real. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I try to be that way. Oh yeah, I bet you do have shadow people. I wouldn't doubt that at all. Yeah, I agree with that. Well said, honey girl sweet. Well said. Yeah, no, we need to definitely start embracing. So yeah, we definitely need to start embracing other people's truths, instead of judging or casting them out because they have this idea, or had this experience per se. I guess you could say. So shadow people, all right. Hello about shadow people, nice. Um, yeah, dude, shadow people are very interesting. There's different types of shadow people. You name it. So that was the second type. The third type, okay, we were talking about that. They will attempt to hurt you, but make it look like an accident if you kill one of theirs, to you or your loved ones. But if you're cool and you just let them be, they will like you and actually find ways to help you, and you won't even know it. Like leaving money in certain places if you're broke. Sometimes they'll load your, I guess he even said they'd put stuff in your fridge with fruits and vegetables. It said if you catch one, you can actually become friends with it, and you can carry them with you, and they'll help you do amazing things. Like they'll even help you with your chores. Ancient natives would let them make cities. So this was really cool. Ancient natives would let them make cities in their beautiful gardens because they would keep out all the pests. They would keep it very clean, and all the bugs and predators they would also keep out. So, apparently, ancient natives even coexisted with them, right? And use them, not use them, but mutually, they helped each other. So, yeah, they keep it extra clean, and they would even, so the duendes would even grow healing fruits and mushrooms and vegetables for the natives. They also grew fruits and vegetables that would make you float like a raft in the water. I thought that was kind of interesting too. That would make you float like a raft in the water. Oh yeah. So have you guys? I just got sent a video of it. Let me hold on. I'm gonna stick around for a second. I'm gonna back out. Check this dude's page because I just got sent a video of his. It's basically that guy that I told you about who his neighbor lives in that house that has constant shadow people occurrences. Okay? So his neighbor lives in that house that has constant shadow people occurrences, but his neighbor doesn't want to deal with TikTok. He actually has a couple 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, but won't monetize. So, yeah, these are some of the wildest shadow people videos I've ever seen or come across in all of my looking. So I'm going to go find this guy's page for you, and I'm going to give you his page. Oh, no. Dang it, I'd have to back out from the live. That really stinks. Is Zephyr in here? Z for Zephyr? I'll tell you what. After this live, I'm going to go out and I'm going to duet one of his videos. So after this live, look for that. I'm going to go out and find one of his videos that's more popular and duet it. Then you guys can add him. But, yeah, no, some of the shadow people videos that guy has are very, very intense. Hey, yeah, you shared them with me, miss. How are you doing, girl? Good to see you. Yeah, you shared that video with me of that guy in the shadow people. What's his name, hon? You sent it to me not that long ago. You said these are the scariest shadow people encounters I've ever seen. Just wait till you see some of the videos on this guy's page, y'all. Yeah, it's actually the last message you sent me out here on TikTok. And it's going to keep coming, guys. Like I said, I just got monetized on YouTube. So moving in the right direction. I'm going to have more content. I'm going to hunker down, and I'm going to do work. If you get this guy's page here on TikTok, you'll be able to find this guy's YouTube channel. Hey, thank you so much for the gifts, guys. That really means a lot. Thank you so much for the gifts. Appreciate you too. And I'm going to have more stuff, and my boy is sending me more stuff too, so I just got monetized on YouTube, bro. I'm going to try and rock it out on that right for a while. I'm going to put a lot of effort into it. I got that podcast coming up with Terrence Ross. I'm going to post that on YouTube. Basically, dude, I'm going for the gusto. Right now, for the month, I'm at 170,000 views on YouTube. They're a penny a view. So 17 at Saucy Dad. At Saucy Dad. SAUCEYDAD. It's good to see you too, girl. At Saucy Dad. My YouTube is at NightGod333. Yeah, dude. Yep, you can save the lives. So all my lives, pretty much I've done, are all on YouTube. At Saucy Dad is the guy on TikTok. Check out some of his videos on shadow people. It will literally blow your mind. Interesting. Cool. Part 6. Yeah, he's actually grown really fast. I actually early on saw one of his videos, right? And he really had hardly any followers. Like, I thought, okay, so you're just gonna rob all your neighbors' content, put it on TikTok, and try and pop. I didn't think TikTok was gonna have it, but they did, and he's already almost to 1 million followers. So what is, I mean, religion really, it's the same ideals throughout, and it's across just different ways of presenting said ideas, right? But hold on, I gotta take a leak real quick, guys. Just 1 second. All right. I'm back. Yeah, I've been trying to winterize my camper here. It's definitely chilly though. Hold on here. Oh, fuck. There, on my TV. That's all right. I'll use that pile anyway. Cheap ass Roku. I don't think it broke. I don't know. My last one broke in here too. These older campers aren't set up to take these flat screens. You kind of get stuck. It might have survived. I don't know. I just need to get this heated on. That's what I do know. shit. There we go. That's much better. Sorry, I'm losing people, but I don't care. It's like, how do I go from having 1.4K people in my live to just dead? I don't understand it. It drives me nuts. It has there's no rhyme or reason for it. It makes no sense. Probably TikTok's mad at me. So they gave me a survey. So recently, TikTok did a creator survey with me. And they asked me some questions, and I was downright, more or less honest with them, like, about the funding and the money. And recently, so I forgot one thing that I really wanted to say to them. So I don't know if you guys have noticed, but some of the videos on your For You page, once in a while, they have a little box at the bottom that says, if you like this video, why not gift this creator? Or would you like to gift this creator? Right? Well, it just makes, why is that just exclusive to certain people? It should be an option on everybody's freaking, I even said, just build a threshold. So if you have over 1 million or over 2 million, allow us to tag and open the option of gifting a video. I mean, think about it. That way you guys don't have to get into a creator fund or nothing. It's all relative. Everybody makes money. I don't understand why why that option isn't put to everybody who is an established creator. Like, at this point, it's pretty obvious. I think I'm pretty safe on TikTok. Like, why have I not got that option yet? Even if I'm not verified. It's stupid. How simple would it be? There's a little tab, just like when you go upload HD or upload, share, like, comment, stitch. Just go fund this video, monetize this video, or open the gift option. And also, why don't they have a gift option that is right on your home page? Why don't they have a little gift up in the upper right corner of your home page or the lower, whatever, that you can click a gift and you can gift somebody on their home page? Why is it exclusive to lives? You should be able to gift me on my page. Period. I mean, think about it. Dude, it just opens the door for a lot more potential for guys like me to make money. At the end of the day, I opted out of the creator fund for a reason. So I could keep my account, pretty much. Well, help me out, Like, dude, YouTube, I'm so stoked that I got monetized on YouTube. Like, I love TikTok, and I wouldn't have had anything with it out TikTok, but at the end of the day, dude, now I know I'm going to get paid. Like, YouTube's the only platform that pays creators worth a shit. It really is. Insta don't give you crap. Insta's a joke. They don't give you nada, nilch, nothing. No gifting options, no nothing. And they just got rid of Instagram TV. Why do you say that? You don't ever want to be verified. Why do you say that? Yeah, maybe I'll start doing that. People have been saying that. So I've been thinking about doing that, actually, because my Facebook Reels is popping off like crazy. I appreciate that, bro. Kicker 87. Ooh, I'd love to see a fairy. You know why. I've probably said it before. Yeah, I can't talk about the vaccines and stuff. Yeah, I have a couple good werewolf dogman stories. I have done some research on CERN. I watched what I talk about them too. Yes, I know. He does. He tells more like 15-minute stories. That's probably one of my that's probably one of my weakest links, I guess. I try to get my stories out there a little longer, but like I need to make them even longer. Like if I could hit that 10-minute mark, right? 10-minute mark. But I post, I average at least, a lot of my videos like on here, dude, I'll do part twos. I'm getting 5 minutes out of them anyway. But like you say, yes, I want to hunker down and really put the time in. My lives actually do pretty well on YouTube. My lives are a lot of watch hours. I get a lot of my watch hours on my lives. A lot of them. Hold on here. Saucy. At Saucy Dad. At Saucy Dad. Cool. Thank you, miss. How you been? You been good, girl? What did he do? So Mr. Ballin, he'd get his crowd involved by playing games. What do you mean? On TikTok lives? Dude, Mr. Ballin like paved the way for storytelling on TikTok. In his lives, he would. I never watched Mr. Ballin live. What kind of games would he play? It's that bad, miss? TikTok games. What? What types of games? I actually downloaded them racing games. I actually have a page for that, racing games. Same time, bro. Giants were the same time. I'm reading it about the black goo and stuff, bro. I do, bro. I just, certain things I can't, like donating against people on your stream and stuff like that. Yes, possibly. We'll be doing some more stuff on the ocean, for sure. He'd have people roast him and add their names to whiteboards. No kidding. I'm going to do stuff on Stardust Ranch, too. I actually have quite a bit of content. I could make a black goo video, but I am nervous about it. I don't want to get banned. The time before the moon. Very interesting. It's like the Venom black goo. I've not read the whole book of Enoch, no. Yes, I do believe Tartaria existed, but I'm not exactly sure where they went or what happened to them. Yeah, check it out, dude. Black goo is crazy. I have talked about black goo on here. Since it's like small live, I can talk about it probably. But it's deep. It runs deep. I don't telegram a hell of a lot. Um, I'm thinking about starting more though. What about that, Jared Forbes? What you talking about? Yes, nice talking to you. Night God, just like everything, bro. Really, um the German physicist on the black goo. I forget his name, of course. Yeah, I think Jupiter ascending is really very real. Yeah, I do. I think that the giants roamed with dinosaurs at times. Yeah, sure. What was his name? I didn't write it down. Do you message me on Instagram and I'll get you his name? Yes, Glen Rose, Texas, human prints next to Dino. They found human prints, I want to say in the New Mexico area that were millions of years old. Thank you. I appreciate that, bro. Yeah, they tell me that I'm probably one of the more established kind of conspiracy theorists on. I mean, I don't know. I don't. That's the thing. That I think that what's helped me is like a lot of the folklore. Nice. The folklore has helped me out a lot, kind of keeping it from being too conspiracy oriented. Wild, interesting. Said my grandfather was a 33-degree Mason in a Native American medicine from New Mexico with healing power. Medicine man. Wild. So, I've been talking to this guy named Azazel News Network on Telegram. Man, has he been telling me some stuff. He said that he told me the other day that there's 9 alien factions on Earth and that they've been watching me and the content I create. It could just be a fan, but it seemed pretty legit. I mean, the videos he was sending me, you guys, oh my God. I pretty much figured out where Wendigos and Skinwalkers come from by him. And it's pretty disturbing. Rakes. You name it. Where they come from. Also owned gold mines. Wow. There's a lot more. I don't know. It would be freaky. So, we all know where people, remember how they talked about, a lot of people have talked about how missing people tend to correlate with the cave systems? Well, they are basically, these people are getting took and they're getting taken underground. Supposedly, I don't know what is doing it, what entity could be doing it. But they basically keep them in the dark, pitch black all the time. Throw them in these rooms with each other. And this is just speculation. This is just, may or may not be true type thing. I don't know. It's just stories, right? At least that's what I'm going to say. They throw them in these rooms and yeah, bro. They start turning. I think that that's crazy, Jarrett. So they never didn't necessarily breed with them. Like, I think that they created them in more or less like labs. Yeah, I would say so. Yes. Yeah, watch the caves, bro. If you aren't strapped going into those, you're crazy. Yes, the Vril energy force turning like into, so they when they go in these caves, they put them in these rooms. Uh, they basically go wild and crazy, and uh, yeah, they like consume each other maybe, and then it turns them into Wendigos. So Vril is just the same thing. Vril is like black goo. The Vril energy force is the same kind of thing. Yeah, the reptoids, basically. Yeah, yes, no, that's true. The Fallen, that's in the Book of Enoch. Dogmen 8 feet tall. Wild. So there is. Oh, the Bush family is very powerful. Yeah, they do, and it's bad, bro. And there's a reason they're down there. And it runs deep. The Alliance is very, very surprised how deep it is. Yeah, the 33rd degree Masons, they were also probably part of the Skull and Bone Society of Yale. The Bush family, and actually George W. Bush Sr. was in on taking Geronimo's skull and using it as the ceremonial skull for the Skull and Bone Society. What's happening in Denver or Devon, Denver? We're just talking about Wendigos, rakes right now. But so basically what happens is once in a while they escape. They have an escapee. They get escapees, right? From these underground tunnels and these underground like prisons, I guess. Once in a while they get escapees. And those are a lot of times your Wendigos, rakes, or there's other ones. I know that Wendigos, rakes, and skinwalkers. Skinwalkers. Wendigos, rakes, and skinwalkers. Yeah, bro. Wasn't that crazy? Isn't that a crazy story about the seals in Antarctica and the three giants? So a rake is a lot of times like faceless. Sometimes they don't even have like they have arms and legs, but they're tall, skinny beings that can oftentimes be faceless, and they're very fast. They can run. Uh, they're different. They're weird. Yeah, isn't that nuts? They need to make a movie on that for real, bro. Yeah, giants are awesome, dude. They are so real. It's not even funny. Listen to your story about the lady who was kidnapped by beings in the ocean. Why am I not ringing a bell on that? Yeah, dude. So, dude, no, I got go on my YouTube and watch my lives on the Venom Black Goo. Yeah, so the Giants, dude, like it was kind of funny because my uncle Randy came over, my mom's brother, and he was like, "Oh, Kyle, I gotta ask you." Like he was getting ready to leave. He's like, "I gotta ask you, do you really believe the Giants were that tall?" And I says, "I don't know." I says, "I think it's all possible, you know." And he started talking about David and Goliath and how Goliath was 12 feet tall. Yeah, so click on the direct me link, dude, in the bio. Direct me link, and it'll take you, and my YouTube's like at the top of my list. Click on YouTube, it'll take you right to my YouTube. Oh yeah, CERN has had some messed up shit go down. Cool, bro, for sure. I think there's been a lot more encounters than we ever could imagine with giants. I don't think all of them are evil either. Yeah, dude, no problem. Yeah, dude, that's like your rake or your Wendigo or your skinwalker. Oh, I believe it. I believe it. Yeah, check out some of my videos, dude. Check out one of my pin videos, Devin, if you haven't seen it yet. About it's got 4 million or so views. One of my pin videos, and listen to it, bro. Have you guys seen that video of that guy in the woods? Who the guy pulls up and he's like talking to him, and yeah, he was like, "Hey, buddy," and the dude was like, "Huh?" And then he started crawling at him. Yeah, creepy shit. Yeah, bro. He was somebody like that. Like, that's an example of somebody that may have escaped the underground tunnels. The way he was crawling around and, like, acting like an animal and shit. See, so, not on, so that's why I need to start doing, maybe I'll start doing lives on Facebook or Telegram. So then I can be real with you guys, man. I feel so censored on this app. It runs deep, guys. Or maybe a podcast. Maybe my podcast, I'll start talking about it. Crawling up the bank. Check it out on my Facebook Reels. I posted it on my Facebook Reels. I've been getting a lot of traction on Facebook Reels. I can't wait till they come out with 1-minute videos, though, because it's killing me. Yep. Night God 333 on all platforms. Yeah, so that's why. So what's cool about YouTube though is YouTube hasn't like even come close to like, they actually just monetized me, so my content must not be too that bad. I did notice that once in a while, like on some of my lives, they'll like silence me for a small segment. But that's about it. Oh, dude, what they found on the moon? Huh. I've tried talking about that on here too. It doesn't really go over very well. See, that's what I worry about. I don't want to get censored on YouTube or Facebook. I can't do that. Yeah, dude, no, you're not crazy, bro. You're just higher. You're a higher level thinker and enlightened gentleman. No, I don't think the moon's plasma. Maybe it is, but it's still, you can live on it. I just bought a kit to send my DNA to the moon. That's crazy. Yeah, no, yeah, for sure. Um, have you been? So appreciate that, Lazarus. Through a program called LifeShip. That is wild. Yeah, for sure. No, I definitely won't be messing with my DNA. Nope. Nibiru is real. So a firmament. not necessarily a firmament, but we do live in a sort of bubble, right? There's two planes of existence. There's the white plane, or white world, and this isn't race bias. This has nothing to do with that. White and light, and then there's a black world, dark and black. The white world is our bubble that we live in. I believe the black world is outer space, right? Basically the black world's outer space. Cool, thank you, bro. Yeah, I've heard about that too, nothing in and out. Yeah, so the two suns thing, I have a very, very good video on that. No, I didn't. Stouffer's stovetop stuffing. What do they do? Appreciate that, brother. Appreciate that. Were you born in 87, bro? Same year I was born. And that surprises me. You're being censored on Facebook, man. Facebook's usually really like open. Thank you. I appreciate that, dude. Nice. September 87. I'm November. Cool, bro. We're all turning 34. Usually Zuckerberg, dude, like, I've seen some hellacious graphic shit. There was this channel called, oh, what was it, man? It was maybe Sick and Twisted or something? Dude, they had, self-harm videos and stuff, like, weird, bro. One dude was like, it was the sickest thing I've ever seen. Are you serious? Well, yeah, you gotta watch. Who glitches a lot? Oh, yeah. Rotten.com, oh my god. Terrible. Yeah, they don't like natural health either. That's what I say, lots of gore on Facebook, right? So it actually I think that helps with me and letting my videos post and go viral, but November 1, day after Halloween. Yes, sir. The Egyptians and the Mayans? I can do that. Yeah, I know, right? Isn't that, dude, that freaked me out. When I first seen the video that I shared about the guy talking about the sun and telling me that really light's instantaneous, that there's really no light years. When you're in space, you can't see the stars, you can't see anything but the planets, and the matter has to be large enough to actually reflect the sun. Like, that blew my mind. So basically, if you're in outer space, you can't see the sun unless you are on a planet or within an atmosphere of a said planet. If you're outside the atmosphere of a said planet, you can't see the sun. What was somebody telling me the other day about Saturn's rings? Man, there's a lot of weird stuff out there. Yeah, I know, Zucker. Yeah, bro. Oh, dude, the secret tunnels. If you want to talk about the secret tunnels, bro, I got stories for you. There are secret tunnels that run the entire Earth, all the way from one ancient dome-like structure to the other, all the way down to Antarctica. The rings. Oh, okay, yeah. That was fought there. Okay, interesting. Okay, I'll tell you about the tunnels a little bit. So supposedly today, though, we actually even have the technology to do this ourselves. But supposedly, even government they have a tunneling plasma type drill that can drill through the ground at so many miles per hour, and it leaves the tunnel edges or the tunnel walls like marble, but they're also porous and allow you to get air and breathe. Yeah, more or less like kind of, yeah. So, but these underground tunnels that I'm talking about were much older than the ones that they're making now, and much more elaborate, like the Buseji Mountains in Romania, when in 2002 they discovered this big dome-shaped cavern in the Buseji Mountains. And normally they would have just ignored it, but they also just found the same type of structure recently at this time in Baghdad, Iraq. Oops. Yes, the Stargate. Yes. Also Stargate in Buseji Mountains. Interesting. Have you guys seen this? Oh man. I have a video of a dude doing his reptilian layer eye, like the layer thing. He was putting it over his eye. All under his own control. It was the weirdest thing I ever seen. I shared it on my Facebook reels because they don't get wrecked every time. Like Facebook's so much more lenient on their reels, which I love. Yes, there are tunnels under the ocean. Hella tunnels under the ocean. Yeah, it was absolutely real. I mean, dude, especially the one he retracted it the last time, he did it real slow. That was wild. Yeah, it could be. Have you guys seen the video, though, of the dude on TikTok where he's talking about how his eyesight's changing and all of a sudden his elbows are like growing like limbs? Like his elbows are growing, his shoulders are growing. That was a really weird one, dude. And he feels like he's becoming reptilian. I know, right? Wasn't that nuts? Yeah, that was a really cool video. Yeah, he was a Marine. Said he was in the service for years, had 20/10 vision, the best he ever had. And as of late, he started to almost evolve, right? Like his shoulders are even getting pointy. I forget his name. I liked his video, though. If anybody can find it. I tried to duet it, but it was longer than 1 minute. Yeah, the extra finger, yes. That's another one. He was starting to grow a sixth phalange. And it was getting really pointy and hard and stuff. Weird as shit, man. And he's like, is anybody else having this going on? I just really need somebody to reach out. I want to know I'm not the only one. What? Who? I didn't ignore you. How am I ignoring you, Miss Lori? I've been looking for your comments. You haven't been commenting. You need to message me on Facebook after this or something. And we'll talk if you're going to be up. Okay? Right now you want me to? No, I haven't. Is it cool? I know, right? She's getting feisty with me. She's been one of my favorites. She's been a hell of a fan. She's been awesome. Dune, is that the one with that chick from, no, that's Monsters. Monster Hunters. I was going to say, I will go right now if I need to, I guess. Cool. Is it in theaters? She gets so mad when I say that. You're my friend, I know. Follower. Friend. But you're a friend. Oh, okay, yes, I did see that. I did see that. Is it a show? Thank you so much. Ooh, a new Matrix? Stop. It's got Keanu Reeves, too? Dude, I don't think I've seen very, very large amount of pictures and video, but no, I've never actually seen an alien myself. I don't think, anyway. Maybe once. Maybe once. Nice. Neo reincarnated. Keanu Reeves is a boss. The pyramids on the ocean floor? Dude, I find megaliths all the time. Who's my favorite football team? Cool, man. I appreciate that. Trying to keep you out of the Matrix. I just wish I could find something where I could communicate like this to you guys. Like with my podcast, like if I do a podcast, I don't get the feedback from you guys. I know, I like the Lions. I do. It sucks, though. It's sad, really. Other than that, I like Steelers, too. And, of course, you gotta love Tom Brady, bro. I'm going to talk about Stardust Ranch here coming up. I got to do a few more, I got to do a little more research on some lore. I've been getting a lot of good stuff, though, from my people. I've been getting a lot of good lore and stories from people, and yeah. A lot of times my fans send me awesome, awesome content. So Stardust Ranch is out in Arizona. It's about this gentleman named John Edmonds who bought it, not knowing exactly what he was in for. But basically after he started seeing gray aliens, all kinds of UFOs. Stardust Ranch is a lot like Skinwalker Ranch, except Skinwalker Ranch is just much deeper and different. Skinwalker Ranch is really, really weird. When the Sherman family moved to Skinwalker Ranch, it was very, very different for them. I don't think God's actually evil. I think how it works, it could possibly be like, almost like a simulation, possibly, that reflects. So a simulation that possibly reflects what you put into it. So if we put evil and negativity into the simulation, it spits it back out on us. Where if we put love and light into it, it spit love and light back on us. But it's like one of those things. Yeah, I know. And then they have that source, or they have that. Honestly, I was just watching this gentleman's Instagram video just today, and it was talking about that. Um, because people talk to me about flat Earth a lot, and he was talking about it, so I was kind of humoring it. But he talked about Alice in Wonderland and duality, the realities. When she goes down the rabbit hole, she goes into the dark world, what it really is, what it really reflects. Just they talk about a grid and how this grid is just all holograms, and it's a trip, man. Thank you, Sneaky Smokes. Did you just make that username up just for me? Yeah, more or less. Yeah, and see, that's where I kind of lost the lore on Skinwalker Ranch. It wasn't super intriguing. I thought the show was actually kind of a letdown. I think the activities definitely went down there. What did it say? He said it's two planes of existence. Like he said, in order to have a white light, you must have a dark place. Kind of staged, absolutely, definitely staged. The authenticity is definitely not there. Yeah, that one security guy, he's such a tool. The one NASA scientist doesn't even believe in freaking UFOs. No, I can't, dude. Not smokes, no. You cannot. They'll ban me. Yes, I do. Yeah. Source energy, God, yeah. I look at it like that. I know. It's because this app's for 12 and up, right? Yeah, I definitely might dabble. Yeah, sure, sure. It's however they want to say it. It's like all religions revolve around the same ideals. That's what is messed up about all of the fighting that goes on over it. Appreciate it, buddy. Yeah, I'm thinking about kind of going to a hot topic next. I need to start watching TikTok a little more to see what hot topics are trending. But I've been seeing black goo all over, man. Yeah, the Giants are awesome, man. Yeah, the primordial soup, black goo. I'll be talking about that in my podcast with Terrence Ross. Yes, synchronicity. So the black goo, right? Um, I watched a video on it. German scientist. I never remember his name. It's so stupid. I need to write it down. But he's renowned for being kind of like a whistleblower on it. He worked in private labs on it. Black goo is like Vril. They also call it Vril energy force. Um, it's something that Earth creates naturally, and also evil beings create it too. Yeah, I will, bro. I need to, yeah, I'm going to have to go dig it up. It's in my Proton mail. No, I know, right? It sounds like oil, but it's not. It's actually like um, a monoatomic, hyper-intelligent substance that takes the form of whatever it decides to, or whatever somebody attaches to it. For example, um, Moses' staff was laden with Earth, the Mother Earth's primordial black goo. It made it extra powerful. It made it so the staff would actually adjust in size to fit its holder. I think that this black goo is a lot of what to do with a lot of the super fantastical things that have happened on Earth. This black goo is behind it. Now, there's also, like I said, an evil black goo. The Earth's black goo is created from seawater that's put through fissures and cracks at high pressures and low temp. High pressures, high temp, low pressure, low temp, and it continues this like plume like effect. Openings, closings, openings, closings. But it presses this seawater to its monoatomic elements, like single atom element of like gold, other types of things that sustain life, right? Like I said, it's like just like the venom black goo. The gentleman, the scientist, the physicist that talked about it, he said that it would regrow teeth. It could make you it turned one gentleman 56 to 35. He was 35 within days. They could regrow cattails, regrow limbs, virtually anything, man. It's basically, yeah, it's like Mother Earth's mana. It's like mana, yeah. But the evil beings like the reptilians or the reptoids, they sent a bunch of black goo to Earth when they convinced the Atlanteans to open a Stargate in our solar system. Like I said, it runs deep. It goes way back, like 500 million years. But it actually, so the evil black goo, it makes you only open your mind, your mind, your life, and your sexual chakra. It makes you forget about the heart chakra, where Mother Earth's black goo makes you open all 7 chakras. Yeah, bro, that's about it too. And then the problem is what are you getting your hands on, the good or the bad? Because this German physicist said he had a meeting with a colleague around a batch of black goo that was primordial and evil, and all of a sudden he had really terrible thoughts. He was actually, he said, very close to committing an act of like hurting somebody very bad for no reason, and he didn't understand why. Well, then he realized the black goo that he was around as the meeting went on, or after the meeting, he realized that the black goo in that meeting was actually evil. So the black goo that I'm talking about too, like these meteorital black goos. So basically, these reptilians, they sent a bunch of black goo down on meteors, and that's why a lot of times you'll see these meteorital stones that are black. Well, they're actually this evil black goo. Some of the earliest found was by an SS soldier in Germany. And he brought it back, and he knew they were meteorites, and yeah, that started the lack of empathy in the German army in World War II. And they had lack of empathy. And there's actually, if you guys look overall, there's a lack of empathy throughout our entire nation, right? I mean, you could argue that. We're not as caring about each other as we possibly once were. And obviously the fact that it opened up the sexual chakra as well. They said where it used to be a 90 degree, now it's 360 when you deal with that type of stuff. Wait, what? Yeah, and I think a lot of times these shadow people we talk of could be a form of this. Yeah, yes, and that's part of it as well. Who did now? Who talked about that? Show me. Taking over and just started changing for the worse. Yeah, they're weird. I have Project Blue Book is yeah. I do have a video on Project Blue Book, but dude, I'll run it. I want to try some good black goo. So okay, there you go. Johnny Five Shades. It very well could have been this black goo, and it's weird too because I know people who are like going hardcore on like negative, like hardcore like street stuff, and all of a sudden they're having to go to the hospital because they got black infection around their heart. Like like drugs are getting laced in it now. That's weird. Yeah, it very well could have been. What was the source of this there, Johnny Five Shades? When did she say or what happened to her when it started happening? Yeah, and are you talking about your Bitcoin, my guy? Yes, I believe in sirens. 100%. Crypto, nice. Bitcoin, good for you, man. I mean, dude, there's a lot more out there. I think that there's things that out. I think there's things out there like. I think there's a lot more out there than we want to know. Nice, dude. So XRP, yeah, that's that new one that's gonna be on the national or the world's currency standard. XRP is. So, dude, that's messed up because I have crypto right now. Maybe I should go buy XRP. I think I got Ethereum. Yeah, because now they're setting up a standard or something that has to be, whatever. Tasha Yar died from black goo. Uphold app. Because, dude, YouTube's about to send me a check real soon. All I got to do is verify my address. Uphold app. So, I'll invest, dude. I'd gladly love to invest in some. Yeah, Jarrett, make sure you message me, bro, because I'm gonna be asking you. I wanna invest in some Bitcoin. Fucking right, dude. Hola. You buy a little every week. Cool. And you swear it's XRP is gonna be the gem, huh? What kind of turnover? How long? I mean, how long before we hit it big on it? No shit. Damn, see, I ain't trying to wait that long. I'm trying to get monies. Thank you, Ms. Mermaid. Yeah, I know, bro. What about these stupid ass NFTs? I'm seeing motherfuckers hit big on that overnight. What if the lawsuit doesn't go your way? Dude, I've been dabbling in NFTs, that OpenSea website and shit. OpenSea.com, bro. NFTs. You gotta have a crypto account and all that. So how's this court case supposed to go if you guys hit it big? What if this court case? What is it? Shiba. The weird ocean creatures runs deep. I heard they were the giant's pets. And somebody was talking to me. I was arguing with somebody on my YouTube earlier. They're like, "Oh, these sea creatures don't exist. You've given no tangible evidence." So then I started talking about all the World War II generals that had accounts and wrote them down. Huh. Interesting. No, I definitely want to find another topic that's big like the giants. I think the reptoids could be something like that, or like the Galactic Federation. But we'll see. Yeah, possibly. The frost giants, they call them. Oh, ghosts are real. You guys know about my demon stories. Good, dude. I hope so. Keep thinking that, because it'll happen if it happens. If you keep thinking it. So you say they're guarding the doors, okay? What doors are you talking about here? There's frost giants guarding doors. Not all aliens are the lizard man. Yeah, frost giants. It's like Norse mythology. Chupacabra. Yeah, no, right, yes. That was interesting. I think there's multiple doors like that all over Antarctica. And I noticed last time I was on Google Earth, something's changing about it. So what's behind the doors? A whole society, a whole megalithic city, underground Atlantis, if you will, full of relics of old, massive structures under the ice, technological advancements beyond our reasoning or reckoning. It's amazing down there. And I think a lot of them are extraterrestrial entities or extraterrestrial beings living down there. And there's actually been accounts of a gentleman who said that he got abducted and took down to Antarctica. And he was showing all this stuff. and the super advanced tech and stuff like that. All I know is there's two factions. One's good, one's evil. Usually the Greys are associated with evil. Not all of them, but most. And they are controlled by the reptilians, or the reptoid race, which I believe were the fallen in the Book of Enoch. Oh, come on. Will that do fall? Crap. There it is. I want to lose my key. Yeah, I think the Bigfoot's car definitely. No, I haven't. Dude, yeah, if you just be careful, man, because caves are very scary stuff. There's a lot of gases and stuff in caves, and it's very, very, dude, caves are so high risk. If I were to go cave adventuring, I'd make sure I had enough on me for if I got lost for to be able to survive for at least a few days, enough protein. I'd have a compass. Don't ever, ever, ever wander any of that stuff without a compass. Even on the way in and out, marking something, like dropping something or marking tools. Dude, and honest to God, dude, don't ever, ever go in those caves without a strap, dude. Don't ever go in those caves without a strap. And a lot of ammo to hold that strap, dude. I'm not even kidding. I'd probably go in with a 12, bro, and I'd have a belt around me with quite a few, and dude, I'd take no less than a couple hundred rounds, and go with friends. But yeah, bro, everybody should have one, dude. I'm not even kidding you. Don't ever go in those things without friends. You should have at least your friend. Yeah, you shouldn't go by yourself. You should have a group, like a support group, and all of you should be carrying. Trust me, like, if I could talk about what really goes on in those caves, dude, someday maybe, I don't know. Yeah, grenades, dude, I'm not even kidding you. Yeah, try to find Full Metal Jacket, copper. Yeah, gas readers, thermal calens. Yeah, dude, it's like, yeah, 308s are nice. Yeah, just be careful, bro, in them caves, dog. Those are killers, dude. They will take you. I mean, truly AR would be the best with tack lights and lasers. Kimberly Walters say. I don't even know. Can't find it. What? Yeah, you wouldn't want grenades. I was kidding on that. There's a lot in the caves, man. In Jasper, Arizona? Or Arkansas, as you said. Yeah, dude, for sure. I think Eden could be the entirety of our Earth. And I think our Earth is actually much larger than they say it is. I think there's a lot more landmass to us than they want to tell us. What? Oh, shit. But anyway, guys, I probably should get going on this live tonight. It's been fun. And I'm going to come up with some more hot content here really soon. So just be patient with me. And yeah, I will get you guys some good content that's going to run. I know I just got another message from my boy. I'm sure he'll have some good stuff for me. But yeah, I'm some of my, like I say, some of it's too controversial. I can't really talk about it. It's just too edgy stuff, So I got to be careful with what I say, and because I don't want to lose my stuff, my platform. I'm just getting monetized on YouTube, so I really, really want to err on the side of caution, because I want to get my YouTube going, guys. That's where the money's at. So yeah, find my YouTube channel for sure. I'll probably go live tomorrow night or the next night. I'm gonna probably try and go live like every other night and keep up going with. I need to just hunker down and get my mind right, and my ass doing my research. So yeah, check out my podcast. I haven't posted on it in a little while. I just got to do some messing around with my audio and my stuff like that. So, but yeah, no, I'm going to be back in the game here, doing it right here real soon. So, love you guys. You guys rock. Always cracking craniums, find gems, right? Love and light, stay in the light, and I will see you guys.